everybody, this is Shaki and welcome to the Shak Realty channel. This is going to be a weekly thing where I review the hottest development that is happening in the market currently. Also, along the way, I will talk to you about the hottest topic that is happening in the property industry. Today we will be going through One Marina Garden, or OMG for short. So today we're going to touch on the usual frameworks on how we usually analyze the project. We will first start off with the rapid fire info, followed by the site plan and unit layout analysis. This will consist of certain things to look out for whenever it comes to layouts, so on and so forth. Especially when it comes to One Marina Garden, our first review on a CCR property, and of course, finally I'll move on to why I will not buy One Marina Gardens, or in short, OMG, and why I will buy OMG, and of course the price with whatever remaining units. Before we get started onto the rapid fire info, just to remind you, I always put myself in the consumer point of view, and I myself act as a consumer to analyze all these projects so that you actually get a neutral point of view. So let's take a look at the rapid fire information. First of all, we are at One Marina Gardens, actually by our lovely developer, Kingsford Marina Development. The ones that brought to you Tron Park, Nomentum Park, Kingsford Hillview Peak, and Kingsford Water Bay. Hopefully by now they will have improved based on their quality and understand the consumer needs better, and I'm sure OMG, they'll bring you a landmark not to be missed. This is their first CCR property, and I'm sure they want to leave a very good impression for all the consumers. It is located on 1, 3 and 5 Marina Garden Lane in District 1 with a plot ratio of 5.6. A proposed residential development comprising of one block of 44-story, one block of 30-story tower with a landscape deck, childcare center, shops, restaurants, communal facilities, and basement car park with keyword here A and A Works, 2 existing MRT entrance for at Marina Gardens Lane. Meaning to say it's going to be connected to the Marina South MRT station. There is 937 residential units with 4 commercials, 3 shops, 1 restaurant, 1 childcare center with approximately 500 square meter close to 5,000 square feet of childcare. And this is very clear indicator of the township transformation that is going to be happening at OMG. Why I say that is because whenever the government plans a township, they ensure that they have enough facilities and amenities like the childcare centers. There may be more popping out, given that this is only the first out of the 16 plot of lands that is going to pop up at the marina area. So this means there will be future populations once the infrastructure is up. With the childcare, it actually improves the livability. By improving livability, it may also generate a better on-stay natural demand, which is what the CCR is lacking, and we'll touch on that in the next video. So OMG has a leasehold of 99 years with effect from 9 October 2023. Expected date of legal completion is 30th April 2032. This is sitting on the site area of 131,805 square. Car park lots, we have 445 car park lots, including 4 accessible lots and 9 electrical vehicle lots. This is something we need to take note because this is one of the rare few developments that we see the car park capacity being half or even lesser than half of the entire residential unit of 937. I think this is to be in line with the government's initiative of reducing carbon footprint, especially in the CBD area where most of the congestion happens during working hours. I think with such good connectivity to the Thomson East Coast Line, as well as the existing MRT lines, I think transportation and connectivity within the CBD area is already very efficient. So now moving forward, the architect is P&T Consultants, so on and so forth. Now we move on to the site plan and unit layout analysis. So we have the site plan here. It splits into 2 blocks. This is the breakdown of units. We have 1 bedroom with 240 units, 422,452 square feet. It comprises of 25.61% of the development. So for the 2 bedrooms, we have the 2 bedroom plus study, and the 2 bedrooms HS. So with that, we have a total of 179 units, 41 units, and 198 units respectively, comprising of 44.61% of the entire development. Next, we have the 3 bedroom dual key, 3 bedroom and 3 bedroom premium. Consists of 29 units, 99 units, and 111 units respectively. This consists of 25%, followed by the 4 bedroom premium that comprises only 40 units. It's 4.27% of the entire development, so meaning to say 30% of units are catered for own stay living, while 70% of the entire development is catered for investment units that are probably not so ideal for own stay. To me, it's a little bit funny because in the sense that it's going against what the government vision. Whenever it's a need, no matter how expensive it is, people will still buy as long there is a need. But based on the profile, the unit mix that I'm seeing here at OMG, the developer is not even trying to cater to this need. And that is exactly the problem of CCR at this current moment. And I believe that is what the government is trying to solve. Basically, if you realize what the government is trying to do is to create townships within Marina Garden, Marina Bay area, as well as the Rural Valley area. It is to cater to the societal progression from the OCR to the CCR, and finally, they can upgrade to the CCR so that when there is a need and the demand, the problem is solved. But based on this unit mix itself, it is quite apparent that the developer is not catering to this need and in fact putting more investment unit per se. So this is a telltale sign or a red flag for me, because when 70% of development is focused on investment in a way, the natural demand is not there. It might pose a problem for the exit strategy in the future, affecting my evergreen scorecard. But let's move on as we continue the fair analysis of this. Alright, so we have now the site plan for One Marina Gardens. There are two alternating blocks. They are not in each other's line of sight, meaning to say they will get an unblocked views as of now. Of course, do remember that there's 16 plots of land surrounding this One Marina Gardens, meaning to say that one day your views might actually get blocked, but as of now, you really get clear views of the Gardens by the Bay as well as the sea views. So facing the direction of Marina Garden Lane, you can see the road facing upward. Facing towards the north, you actually get the Gardens by the Bay view. And of course, facing towards the south, you get the sea view, alright? So mainly there are 1 and 2 bedrooms are in the center portions of each block. You can see stack 20, 21, 22, 23, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 are 1 and 2 bedrooms, facing the Gardens by the Bay direction. We have stack 16, 15, 27, 26, 2, 1, 14, and 13 facing in the direction of the sea view. Okay, then of course, how the developer laid this out, the 3 and 4 bedrooms are basically at the 4 corners of each block, meaning to say some of them get more than 90-degree view of the Marina Bay area. Else for stack 11 and 12, you'll get the other side of the sea view towards the sea. So with that in mind, let's take a look at the layouts. So now we are going into the layout analysis. This is the part where, as a consumer, how I actually feel which layout is actually good for your future exit strategy and which are the layouts that I will actually avoid. So if we look at the 1 bedroom, we have the type 1B R1, which is 431 square feet. Your standard 1 bedroom layout. The minute you enter from your main entrance, you are greeted with your foyer area, kitchen, living, and dining. So like what I mentioned, every time when it comes to the 1 bedroom, it is always best to have the Jack and Jill access, which this is something that is present within this layout. This is a good 1 bedroom layout. Can't get better than this. There's no other variation apart from this in a 1 bedroom for an effective layout. So kudos to that. You will have this one in stack 7 that actually faces the north side of things, which is the Gardens by the Bay. So next, we have 1 bedroom type 3, another reflection of the bedroom we just saw, and of course type 4, which is 420 square feet, 1 bedroom. You realize that actually everything seems quite the same, maybe slightly smaller balcony instead of one that actually extends all the way to the full wall-to-wall distance of the living room. If you want to keep your quantum low and buy for investment and starting this as a capital building process, or you just want this for rental use, I think this would be the cheapest 1 bedroom presently in OMG. And we can actually choose this because to me, the balcony space doesn't really matter that much. In fact, reduce the balcony space to get the best quantum so that you get the best yield. This can be found in stack 2, which faces the south, which is the sea view. Alright, next, so we have the 1 bedroom type 5, the 452 square feet. Basically, what's the difference is this extended foyer area, which actually tucks to the kitchen into this corner. So coming into here, you're greeted straight away with the kitchen, followed by a walkway leading into the dining area. For this, you have a separate dining and living area, given the slightly larger size of 452 square feet. The only downside is this, because of the slight change in layout, they don't have that Jack and Jill access to the master bathroom, which might prove as a disadvantage. I think this is actually more suitable for your own stay living, given how you can actually try to do a sliding door at the kitchen area before it leads to the dining area. This can be found in stack 27, which faces the south side. Next, you have the 1 bedroom type 6, which is a 431 square feet, similar to the layout that we just saw just now, followed by type 7, another 420 square feet, which can be found in stack 20. Same, a slightly smaller balcony, Jack and Jill access, everything a 1 bedroom that we should have is actually present in here. Type 8, a one bedroom, is 431 square feet, which is in stack 16. Actually faces the south side. You get a bit of the pool view for the low floor, and if you go on a high floor, you actually get the sea view. Similarly, coming into the foyer area, you are greeted by the kitchen area. Jack and Jill access to the toilet, living and master, basically same as what we saw just now before. Now we move on to the two bedrooms. We start off with the 646 square feet. This is stack 9. Stack 9 actually faces the Marina Garden Lane. Marina Garden Lane is actually facing the Gardens by the Bay direction. We come in here as what you can see, just like every other Kingsford development, they actually adapted a similar kind of layout from Chuan Park, Normanton Park, so on and so forth. You are greeted with a dumbbell layout. Coming into the main entrance, you are greeted with the foyer, the galley kitchen, a designated space for the dining, followed by the living, and then you break out into the master bedroom on the left, followed by bedroom 2 on the right. For bedroom 2, you have the Jack and Jill access, meaning to say whenever the guests come and visit the house, you don't have to go through the bedroom 2 just to head into the common toilet. The same goes to the master bedroom. Most effective layout, 646 square feet, harmonized. I'm sure this one will actually take advantage of the harmonization effect to keep the quantum low. Next we have type 2, which is 667 square feet, which can be found in stack 26. Stack 26 faces the south side. You actually get the sea view. As of now, walking into the foyer, you get a little bit of wastage of space there, but actually we can use this space to actually set up maybe like a shoe cabinet. The good thing about this layout, remember, we always say when we buy two bedrooms, we must at least get a 2-bed, 2-bath with enclosable kitchen. And fortunately, this one has an enclosable kitchen. For this style of layout, you can actually get a designated dining area, just like how every 3-bedroom will be. One dining area on the left, living room on the right. We break into 2 bedrooms, bedroom 2 on the left, master bedroom on the right with a Jack and Jill access for bedroom 2 towards the bathroom. Alright, so that's the most effective 2-bedroom layout we can find. So with 667 square feet, we can actually see the layout and the space have been effectively designed, taking advantage of the harmonization effect. Next, we have 2-bedroom type 3, which is 657 square feet, stack 27, which faces the south side again, that faces the sea. Again, when you come in here, there's a slight difference and a slight variation of from the 667 square feet that we just saw. Coming in here, you are greeted with the galley kitchen, followed by a study area on the left and then a dining area on the right. Everything else is the same towards the living room as well as bedrooms. The only thing is this, they changed a little bit of the layout. Bedroom 2 doesn't have a Jack and Jill access, meaning to say bedroom 2 occupant must walk out and enter the bathroom using the door outside. So if you ask me the difference between these two, I would actually say that the 667 square feet has more exit strategy, because in a way it's a little bit more livable, but depending on the usage and preference of the owner. Alright, but of course, like I said, having an enclosable kitchen is always key. For this 657 square feet, in comparison, it does give you an additional study area which can double up as a helper's room or a storage room. So these 2 bedrooms is actually in a way a little bit more functional, but it does lose out on the enclosable kitchen. Next we have the 2-bedroom type 4, a 657 square feet. This will be more traditional 2-bedroom layout. There's a long foyer area as you enter, greeted by a galley kitchen, and then followed by the dining area just opposite the kitchen, and then we lead into the living room. All the bedrooms are on the right. Bedroom 2, master bedroom with the common bathroom running parallel against it. To me, I do feel quite a fair bit of space is wasted at the front part, the foyer area. I do hope the kitchen could have started earlier. Anyway, walking in, you're already going to see the kitchen. Might as well just start earlier so that we could have used the dining area a little bit more effective. In fact, because of this, we have to squeeze the dining area together with the kitchen area, causing that kind of a little bit more crampy feeling. So partially, because this is a traditional layout used at the corridor area leading to the bedrooms, for this particular stack, it's stack 21 facing Gardens by the Bay. Next we have 2-bedroom type 5, 657 square feet. This time around, similar to the previous ones that we see, dumbbell layout with enclosable kitchen. 2-bedroom type 6, 646 square feet. It's just a reflection of it. Instead of the kitchen being on the left, it's on the right. Right now with the dining area just after the kitchen perimeter. And of course, it leads up to your 2 bedrooms on the left and the right with the bathroom. Next we have type HS1 721 square feet. So this is getting bigger and bigger. This belongs to the 2 bedroom rooms that we can see. This one, when we see the word HS, it means that there's a bomb shelter. So coming in from the foyer area, you are greeted with the bomb shelter. On the right side is the enclosable kitchen, a nice dining area, living room, dumbbell layout, bedrooms on the left and right. Now this layout is a little bit funny. Why do I say that? Because do you realize one thing? Bathroom 2 door is actually facing your dining area. In fact, this is one of the most unpleasant things, whether it's for feng shui purposes or for your own purposes, because you have the bathroom door facing your dining table. How does it feel when you're staying inside and you're eating and you're facing the bathroom door? I think it feels a bit iffy, right? But then again, 721 square feet, efficient usage of space, but I do wish that they had better planning for this layout. Next we have HS2, basically everything else the same, just that they shifted the bomb shelter into the kitchen as compared to the previous layout. So when we enter from the foyer area, you're greeted with the enclosable kitchen on the right, with the bomb shelter attached to it, meaning to say it actually acts like a storeroom. Alright, then from there, on the left, you get a designated dining area, and followed by a bathroom too, and then the 2 bedrooms on the left and right of the living room. Now this layout is actually a little bit more effective than we just saw. First of all, at least we don't have the dining area or the dining table facing the bathroom, and just that shift of bomb shelter actually makes the whole layout a lot more practical and functional. And of course, by having a bomb shelter in the kitchen, that is where it's supposed to be. You are supposed to put all your condiments, your storage stuff, everything behind the kitchen outside of mine. Why would you want to have the bomb shelter in the middle of your living and dining area, right? So this is stack 1 that actually faces the south side. Then you get your sea views, 2 bedrooms HS4, also another reflection of what we just saw, stack 13, which is facing Gardens by the Bay. So you can actually see the 2 bedrooms has been very generous. You get a generous number of units facing Gardens by the Bay as well as facing the sea. Right now we move on to the 3 bedrooms. The 3 bedroom dual key at 969 square feet, which is by the corner of stack 11, facing the northeast orientation. First of all, as you enter the unit, you are greeted by this very long foyer area. I guess because it's a corner unit, that's why they need to have this long foyer area to cater to their corner unit positioning. Because this is dual key, what does dual key mean? Actually, 2 function units within the price of 1. Alright, so on the right side you have a studio, a self-contained unit studio that comes with a pantry area, bathroom, bedroom, then the balcony. And then we move on over to the 2 bedroom side of things, which comes with a galley kitchen, which replicates a traditional 2 bedroom layout they originally have at OMG already. So the galley kitchen on the left, dining area on the right, with a living room, and then of course the 2 bedrooms with the bathroom running in parallel against it on the right side. Just like every other traditional 2 bedroom layout, if you're looking something with yield, I think it is quite good to buy something here. 969 square feet with the high number of expats coming into the CBD area to work. This might actually provide you with good yield given that. So with the 3 bedroom dual key, it actually can increase your yield effectively depending on your usage. Next is the 3 bedroom premium at 1012 square feet at stack 25. Same because it's a corner unit. As you enter the main entrance, you're greeted with this very long corridor walkway, which I believe they could have better designed this. Why would you want to waste so much space here? Followed by an enclosed kitchen with the utility toilet and the bomb shelter to act as your storage needs. Just like every other 3 bedroom premium traditional layout, you can fit a 6-seater dining set with your living room area followed by your balcony. Good thing is this, it looks like it's a hackable for the 3rd bedroom. So if you really want to expand your living room space, you can with this layout. And then followed by the master bedroom and the 2nd bedroom being side by side with each other. Not much complaints to complain about. Your usual traditional 3 bedroom layout, very livable. But what I wish that they could have done better is they could have cut the long foyer space, put it back in the living space. Of course, I understand building design, sometimes we have no choice. So next we have the 3 bedroom at 960 square feet. This is one where we come in, your foyer area is shorter, but it comes with a bomb shelter the minute you enter the unit. This is stack 12, which is a corner unit facing the ocean view or the sea view. Coming in here, you get an enclosable kitchen This one doesn't have the utility toilet, so basically this is our 3 bedroom compact layout. It comes with a bomb shelter, so it actually doubles up with a very good storage space. Next we have the 904 square feet 3 bedroom stack 3, which actually faces a sea view as well, the south side of things. Coming in here, after entering the entrance, you are greeted with the foyer, dining area, and then living. A bomb shelter on the right side with the kitchen area, with all the 3 bedrooms being on the top portions of your living room. You get to see the bedroom 3. Again, I think this wall is hackable, so I think you can actually expand the space if you want to. You have bedroom 2 and master bedroom with the bedrooms being side by side of each other. Now we have 3 bedroom premium at 1,173 square feet. Once you enter the unit, because it's a corner unit, that's why you get your foyer area slightly longer again. You're greeted with the kitchen, bomb shelter, yard, and the utility toilet. Dining area that can fix a 6-seater set and a very wide living room, so this can double up as a landscape layout for your living room. Next, you have, just like every traditional 3 bedroom layout, you have all 3 bedrooms on the right side with the bathrooms running parallel against it. No complaints, exactly like how I would want to see a 3 bedroom layout. It's a bigger alternative to a 1238 square feet for a 3 bedroom premium. They are mainly in stack 17. Same thing coming with the long foyer area. You have an additional dry kitchen, followed by the kitchen yard, WC, as well as the bomb shelter, a 6-seater dining area, and then very wide living room area with a balcony attached to it. 3 bedrooms on the left with a walk-in wardrobe for master bedroom. Alright, so for this one, I do wish that they could have better designed this layout a little bit. Why couldn't they give a wider dining area? Probably is to squeeze in the bomb shelter, and the perimeters of the bomb shelter actually aid into the dining area space. They could have better designed this by cutting the foyer area. Alright, so next is another 3 bedroom premium at 1,066 square feet. The final variation of this, same thing, foyer area, but this one actually comes with a dry kitchen, followed by a wet kitchen area. So they actually cut the usual wet kitchen space by half. The dry kitchen, you can totally imagine this lifestyle followed by the dining area. So it runs in parallel against it. So you can imagine hosting at that time, you're actually preparing some light meals or drinks, cocktails or whatever. Alright, on the dry kitchen area, as you're interacting with your guests at the dining area. This one will be standard portrait layout because of the 1,066 square feet with all the 3 bedrooms on the right side running in parallel to the toilet. Followed by the 4 bedroom premium, the last layout, right? The last unit type of them all. There is only one variation, which is stack 19, one stack of 4 bedrooms at 1,647 square feet. Actually, I might say this layout is very impressive. Shorter foyer walkway, straight away you have your storage area. Your storage needs to be settled by the bomb shelter. You got your kitchen, alright, fully functional with the yard and the WC. Got a very nice dry kitchen. I can totally imagine it. Come and see the show flat, followed by the dining area, which brings in quite a fair bit of grandeur because exactly this is the kind of landscape layout you enjoy with all the way from living room all the way downward to the dining area. So this kind of grandeur, kind of spaciousness you'll get in a 4 bedroom. It's very beautiful. Whenever you host, can really fit in a 10-seater to 12-seater dining set. Yes, that is the kind of grandeur we're talking about there at the 4 bedroom premium layout. So of course, as we head towards the right side of this floor plan, you'll see it breaking out into the 4 bedrooms. You get a junior master bedroom with the attached junior bath. You get your common bedrooms, bedroom 3 and 4 that will use bathroom 3 and followed by a master bedroom, which is very huge master bedroom with the attached toilet. So we have come to the end of the layout analysis. Alright, quite standard layouts that we've seen so far from Trump Park, Nomental Park, so on and so forth. I mean, with URA policies governing how layout effectiveness should be, I think these are the standard layouts that we have been seeing throughout all the projects so far. As I always mention, there's not many bad layouts out there in the market right now. Most of them are actually very good layouts to begin with. Then there is how are we going to tackle the market obstacles to actually help you make that decision whether you should be entering the market today. So for this development, based on the site plan itself, if you're looking for something that has an evergreen view, alright, then we should look at these few stacks, stack 17, 18, 19, stack 3, stack 4, and stack 5 because they are in the direction of the Marina Bay Sands area. So with that in mind, you can actually see based on the master plan down here, you can actually have Gardens by the Bay right in front of you. in that direction. So most of you probably get a permanent unblocked view. Of course, we can see that plot ratio of 3.5, which is definitely lower than your plot ratio of 5.6 here at OMG. And then of course, we will be seeing Tower 4 of MBS followed by 3 towers at MBS with the MBS Hotel down there. So if you are looking for something with majestic, unblocked views of Marina Bay, then these are the few stacks that you should be looking for, which has proven to maintain its price sustainability, drawing case studies like the sale. As long as you have the sale unit that is facing the bay view, then actually the prices are holding quite well, and in fact growing exponentially even till today. So now we move on to why I would not buy OMG. The first one is, of course, the possible question on the developers. I think the developer has always been focusing on the mass market properties, and only recently this will be their flagship CCR property. And if you go and Google them, they do have some history in the past, but they have since proven themselves with Momentum Park as well as Tron Park. But even so, I have questions amid the luxury standards and high standards that are actually present in Marina Bay and of course Marina Gardens area. So that is my number one question. And you know, people who buy luxury CCR properties, that is what they come in and expect, right? But of course, it may be balanced out by the low entry price that the developer has set for this development. But then again, I do hope that since this is their flagship CCR property, they want to prove the consumers that they can actually deliver good, high quality, luxurious products. And that is what we have to wait and see. Number two, possible oversupply. Because with 16 plots of land surrounding this area, I have some key questions whether supply may be actually thrown off scale in that sense. There is not enough demand to go about in CCR itself. What the government is trying to solve is already the demand problem at this moment, and with 16 plots of land coming up surrounding this development, my question is would there be enough demand for my exit strategy? Which leads me to my third point. I have questions also in the unit mix because 70% of the unit mix is focused on one bedroom and two bedrooms. Then my question is this: how sustainable are the pricing within this development? Because remember, buying a property is always a need, right? And with a need, it actually creates natural demand. As long as it's focused on livability, there will be natural demand coming in, and that is what kept prices sustainable. But with development of more than 70% of one and two bedrooms, I have question on that, especially with the government's recent shift in direction of livability and what they are planning to do in the CCR to solve the demand problem. Then I feel that this development may not actually be in line with that direction. And of course, last but not least is the block views. But then again, you're staying at Marina Bay area or the Marina Gardens area. It is natural because you stay in the CBD, you're surrounded by all the buildings, all the high rise. It's a concrete jungle to me. That's not a big disadvantage because people come and buy in this area with their eyes wide open. Confirm, confirm one day the view will be block one. All right. So I think the whole idea is to choose the best facing we can in view of the future possible blockages. We choose the best stacks that have the best views thinking ahead and anticipating the building positions in the future. So now we move on to why I will buy OMG. So I will buy One Marina Gardens because number one, it marks the start of a new township within the Marina Gardens. So if you look at the master plan itself here, I have the master plan here. Basically, we have the first plot of land being OMG, which has a direct access to Marina South MRT station, which is not open yet. It's open on the Thompson East Coast Line. And I always mention to people there's a three-phase transformation that is happening. Now we are in the infrastructure phase of this particular station. Like what I've told people before, the infrastructure phase is known to be one that experiences the highest and fastest returns. Am I right to say the government wouldn't just build an MRT station and leave it empty surrounding it? And that's why OMG marks the start of the infrastructure phase within this area. And you know how the sale of the government land works? Each land will always be sold higher than the previous land, and that was exactly what happened in the recent bid in the area as well. During the last land bid, it was lower than this current land bid of OMG. The government actually blocked the bidding and did not allow it to go through. So this gives me a lot of confidence that the government definitely is sinking in a lot of resources, but most importantly, ensure that the price efficiency and the price sustainability is there. They definitely do not want to crash the prices here, and if the land bid is too low, they have already proven that they will not let it go through. So with that kind of support from the government, it gives me a little bit more confidence as a consumer. Next, if we look at the master plan itself, we have 4 more lands that are in the red color zone, meaning to say they are slated for residential usage with commercial at the first story. So these next 4 lands is probably the next one that will be released for bidding by developers, and trust me, I believe they will be higher and higher and will give me my first movers advantage that I need to have for OMG. If we zoom out, you'll see all 16 plots of land surrounding it are all still white sites subjected to the government's plans and development. So number 2, of course, is the new township transformation. Like what I said just now, we are heading to the infrastructure phase. It's a renewed opportunity for Marina Bay and Marina Gardens area. Why I say this is because if you realize previous projects in the CCR, they all have product problem. Take a look at Marina Bay Suites and Marina Bay Residences. First of all, their entry prices were way too high in 2010 to 2012. They were once setting the benchmark back then at 2,600 per square foot, but most importantly part is their layout sucks. Alright, they have bay windows, 2 balconies. This will all be for the URA improvements. So in a way, they have a product problem. So in CCR, when people always say never make money, never make money, it's only because 2 problems: product problem, demand problem. You realize that with transformation townships that the government is creating right now, they are taking the blueprints from the decentralization plans we see in Punggol of various townships in the mass market areas into the CBD areas. Reason being, they want to make it livable. As long as it is livable, there will always be a natural demand. As long as there is amenities that suits their living lifestyle, like what I said, there will be demand. But the next thing comes to the product problem. Is the product even livable or not? So we look at the layouts of Marina Bay Residence and Marina Bay Suites. So Marina Bay Suites has actually only 3 and 4 bedrooms with big floor plate, which causes the quantum to be high. But the key thing is this: actually it was a good product to begin with, just that the prices were a bit too high, and of course they belong to an era where there were bay windows and big balconies, which is not so ideal anymore. So that's a product problem down there. And we move forward to Marina Bay Residences. Same thing, odd shaped layouts with bay windows and excessive balconies. And of course, last but not least, they enter at a very high price to begin with. We can draw another reference from the sale. The sale, in fact, the layouts are very, very livable. Maybe some bay windows here and there, but the reason why it's performing better than the rest, apart from its entry price, is the livability. And that's why you see those bay views units are actually profiting time and time again as the markets continues to improve. Next, we have Marina One. Marina One actually was the improvement of URA policies. Already implemented layouts were okay. They do not have excessive balconies, they don't have excessive bay windows, but you know what's the big problem they have? A lot of units facing commercial building opposite part of Marina One offices. How is that even livable? And it's dark, not enough sunlight coming in. But most importantly, your view is the opposite office boy that is working in his cubicle looking back at you. How livable is that? And that's why without the livability box check for Marina One residents, that's why you see it's not profiting. But finally, we have OMG here today. The new transformation township is going to solve the demand problem and the product problem. You can see there are no bay windows, effective layout, and we see in the mass market. But most importantly, the livability factor is checked. You get sea views, you get views of Marina Bay Sands, you get views of the gardens by the bay. Even in the future, you might actually be blocked by surrounding buildings due to concrete jungle like all the CBDs. But the good thing is this: the spacing out of each land plot is there. It's well planned by the government, and I'm sure the government wants to make a very nice city skyline and not just everything clustered together. Definitely, I'm sure they will actually plan the city skyline very well and ensure that every unit has its own adequate views. The keyword is adequate here, and with that, it actually ensures a livability factor, and that may improve the exit strategy of this place. Number three is rental yield. So again, livability box is checked already. Expats also want newer places. Right now, they can only choose from the Sail, which is quite old, Marina Bay Suites, and Marina Bay Residence, which is already more than 10 years old. Marina One itself is dark. You must understand, all these expats, they come to Singapore, to the island of sun, island of greenery. Alright, the thing is this, they don't get that in their own country. They come into Marina One, they see everything is so dark, they will not choose that to rent. So the next best alternative is where? One Marina Gardens, which is OMG here, because they will get the sun, they will get the greenery, they will get the sea view, they'll get the lifestyle. That's what they are looking for. And with OMG being the newest kid in the block, I'm sure rental yield will increase. And with increment of rental yield, that also may affect your appreciation value of your property. Alright, so now let's take a look at the price for the one bedroom size 420 to 452 square feet. It's starting from 1.197 million, right? So it's 1.197 $953 to be exact. That's about 48 units still in the market out of 240 units. And for the two bedroom, we're looking at the 646 to 732 set. For the two bedroom, let's take a look at the 646 to 732 square feet. It's 1.813390. So there's only 262 units left. About half of it was already sold. So that's a good thing. And then for the three bedroom, we look at the 904 square feet to the 112 square feet. We're looking at 2.471 million. So looking from one to three bedroom, I think honestly it's very, very affordable compared to your OCR properties being the benchmark prices nowadays. So like your three bedroom at 2.4 mil, I think it's a very, very good buy, especially in the CCR. And then we move on to the three bedroom premium of 1066 to 1238 square feet, looking at 2.891 million. It's about 88 available left in the market. And for your four bedroom, looking at the size of 1,647 square feet, is starting from 4.47 million. It's about 24 units available in the market, so about half as well taken up. So all in all, you got a good amount of one bedroom and two bedrooms being taken up early during launch, and a good amount of your four bedroom and three bedroom as well, whereby the natural demand will be there for staying, for living. Like I said earlier, livability, this is where you would like to look at. If you want more natural demand, you like look at your three and four bedroom, which is priced, I think, quite reasonably for a CCR property. So now for the verdict and the scorecard, based on the info that I was given, I'm going to give you my evergreen scorecard. So we must always remember what the evergreen score is all about. We cannot time the market. So how well can we exit? Whether this is a bad time or good times, that contributes largely to my evergreen scorecard. Basically, if you ask me for OMG, my evergreen scorecard is actually a 3 out of 10. Wow, that's actually one of the lowest score I've ever given to a project, because number one, I wouldn't see myself exiting in the short term if I were to buy OMG. Definitely it is an infrastructure phase, but there's a lot to work on based on its master plan that we are looking at. The next thing, of course, is we are hoping that the greater southern waterfront transformation can finally be completed, because I've been hearing it for the past 5 to 10 years and nothing has been completed ever since. Even all the way until now, I feel that it's time that they finally completed it so that they can really work on the infrastructure phase of this. The next thing, of course, is we are hoping that the greater southern waterfront transformation can finally be completed. I've been hearing it for the past 5 to 10 years, and I hope it can be completed soon so that the infrastructure phase of this can work out well. So if we talk about the evergreen scorecard, then the exit ability is the question mark in the short term of 5 years. Alright, of course, if you decide to hold long term, then of course I would say that you will have a lot more prospect to begin with. But in the meantime, it also means that you need to rent. And next thing is this, that you're renting it out. There will be a lot of plots of land surrounding OMG going through construction. That may be not such a pleasant experience for tenants. And from there, you may actually need to cut your rental prices just to rent it out. Even though that you're the only one there, because why? Livability is the key factor. So to me, the scorecard is low, not because there is a bad product. The entry price, in fact, is a saving grace because of how it coincides with the OCR property prices. But then again, I emphasize of the evergreen scorecard is largely weighted due to the exit strategy, and I don't see ourselves being able to exit in the short run. We definitely need to hold it for the long run, and we will be able to see better prospects. Of course, with that comparison, there is another project called Aurea by Far East, which is the Golden Mile one. It was launched at 2728 PSF. It does provide additional support for the prices at OMG. The reason why I rate it 3 out of 10 is because the exit strategy in the near future is not that high. We have to hold for the long run before we can allow the transformation to materialize, and it's always a question mark what other products are they going to build along those red colored plots of land in the master plan, and which developer is also getting hold of those lands. Maybe we have CDL that poses a very strong competition in terms of product, and that is a question mark on how we can tell you to exit. So we have come to the end of our project review at OMG. I hope you have been enjoying everything you see. So we have come to the end of our project review for OMG. My name is Shaki from Shack Realty, and I hope you enjoy this content. If you like it, please subscribe, follow, and do comment below if you want to hear any more hot topics in the industry. Do let me know. See you next time.